What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me, but I just got home off of an early morning flight, right? First thing through the door, I want to see my family. I love my family. You know, I'm a family man. I'm an advocate for families, right? Second thing, I got to get that hot shower because I got to throw the threads on. The threads make me feel like $1,000,000, but the third thing through my mind and all throughout the trip is that I got to have that Tiege pack. Tiege makes my life uncomplicated. It's uncomplicated skincare for men. The first way that I started specifically was their level 1 system. It's a daily face wash to get rid of the dirt and grime on your skin. 2 times per week exfoliating scrub to get rid of the dead skin cells. An AM moisturizer with SPF 20 because you should always be protecting your skin from the sun. And a PM moisturizer to help your skin stay hydrated and healthy throughout the night. Here's the thing. My favorite part about Tiege Hanley is that every box comes with an instruction card that tells you when to use each product, how much to use, and in what order. They really making the process of achieving and maintaining amazing skin for men uncomplicated. In addition to amazing skin, members of Tiege Hanley get tons of benefits, including at least 20% off the retail price, the ability to customize your box, exclusive monthly deals, you can pause and cancel at any time, and you get free shipping. And because Tiege Hanley is sponsoring today's video, they're offering my viewers an amazing deal, right? Just click the first link in the description and you get 30% off your first box, plus a free gift. It's an amazing deal. You got to get started today. You're not out here trying to look like a Dusty. And if you travel as much as I do, which I'm sure most people don't, but you know me, I'm pushing my bag chasers in order to be in the top 5%, top 10%, top 1%. We got to make our lives uncomplicated, and Tiege Hanley is no better product. You got to look good. You got to smell good. And you can't be looking like a Dusty. Make sure you get started today. Click the link in the description. Get that Tiege pack. Feel the Tiege, my friends. What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Thank you for tuning in for another edition of the Millionaire Morning Show. I'm your host, Anton Daniels.com. I feel so good this morning. I feel so incredible, so good. No problems, no issues. I think for the first time in my entire life. For the first, well, not, that's a strong statement. Let me revise that. I think that for the first time in years, I haven't been this happy in a long time. I can't remember the last time that every single thing went my way. What up, friends? Love by ya. Mika, Messi, Mary, Emperor. I ain't get no cutty last night. That's the crazy part about it. What up, Trap? What up, Charles Pride? I'm gonna be reading the super chat shortly. I got no cutty last night. I went to bed by myself. Cartez cookies in the building. I got no cut. Man, listen. I've been in such a euphoric state. Like, I'm just chilling. I'm vibing. What up, Rita? I see you in the chat, Rita. My relationships, A1. Rita's good. My daughter's good. The money's right. Investments booming. I got the best and the brightest and the most awesome people in the chasers. Shout out to my bag chasers. We got Stock Club tonight. That's going to be pumped. And we got after hours tonight. We got Stock Club. We got after hours. Man, listen, I got a hell of a show that's lined up for y'all tonight on after hours. I got a great show lined up for y'all today on the Millionaire Morning Show, but I also have a great show lined up on after hours. Some of you guys have been following me on my vlogs that I've been having on the Anton Daniels channel, in addition to what we did on the Q show last night. So I've been dropping my vlogs, and I've been kind of vlogging like twice a day, right? And I just been walking downtown. I be like in my own little world. Everywhere I go, the people show me love, from the maintenance engineers of the People Mover. I kicked it with him. Shout out to you, big dog. I appreciate you for giving me all of the game on what's happening behind the scenes with regard to future updates for the city with regard to public transportation. I appreciate you. I source a lot of my information from the people. You can't really speak to what's happening in the streets unless you're in the streets. I was walking around yesterday. I'm blogging. I'm kicking it. I talked to the maintenance engineer. I talked to the security guards. Another police officer pulled up on me just to say what up, and that he's showing me love, and that they make sure that they look out for me. And if they ever see me, they got my back. Shout out to the Detroit police officers. Shout out to the Detroit police. I love the Detroit police. They got my back. I went into the bar last night before I did the show last night on Q, and I sat at the bar, and I met a crazy woman because I was sitting at Prime and Proper. For everybody that know anything about downtown Detroit, Prime and Proper, I went up there, and I ordered a salad. I ordered a Caesar salad, and I ordered some carrots. And they give you the whole carrots. And I'm talking to her, and then she scooted over another seat. It was 2 seats in between us. Then she scooted over another seat, and I was like, And she was a little white woman. She was a white woman. And she scooted over an additional seat. She said, "Hey, how you doing? My name is," and I'm not going to say her name. And she started kicking it, and so we started talking, and she started telling me about her life and how she was adopted, and she's lived in downtown Philadelphia and Chicago and Colorado. She's here. She's going to be moving out to the suburbs of Detroit instead of living down the street. But she told me, she was specifically telling me, she said, "Listen, I actually stay right up the street." Because, I walk everywhere. And so I didn't even have my car yesterday. I left it at my building, and I was walking everywhere. She said, "I stay right up the street in the building up the street." I said, "Oh, yeah?" I said, "Wow, that's interesting. It shouldn't take you that long to get home." Let me give a round of applause for myself. She says, "Yo, here's my information. If you need to get in touch with me, just give me a call." I said, she tried to give me her phone number. I said, "You ain't on Instagram?" She looked at me appalled. She said, she looked at me appalled. She said, I said, "You ain't on Instagram?" She said, "Of course I'm on Instagram." I said, "Just shoot." I said, "Just, you know what I'm saying? Just follow me on Instagram and, we cool." I ain't pressed for no P. I ain't pressed for no hoes either. Listen, I ain't pressed for nothing. Listen, Eric, you can't tempt me with something that I'm not interested in. Y'all not hearing me. You're not hearing me. You can't you can't tempt me with something that I'm not interested in. I have my little Basil Hayden. I'm chilling at the bar. I'm slow motion. I'm vibing. I don't even see you. I'm not even really sure why you were scooting over, but I'm cordial. I'm the type of person to be able to kick it. I'm not tripping off of that. I just met you. I don't know you. I'm not going to your place. I'm not giving you my phone number. And you certainly ain't coming over to my place. So what we talking about? Gentlemen, here's the lesson in this. And this is the honest to God truth on everything. I'm going to tell you what happened after that too. It's a second part that go to that. And that's a real quick part of the story. But let me just tell you something. I'm not tripping. I don't care. Listen, it's just like anything else in life. When you operate in abundance and you operate in your purpose, you're not tripping off of it because you understand that there ain't no shortage of it. Why? I can get any car I want. I don't have to go to the dealership. I don't have to go nowhere. I can go and get any car that I want today. And I don't even want to drive no more. You see what I'm saying? When you operate with an abundance mindset, with a godly mindset, with a mindset that allows for you to really, really be able to focus and you're not leaning into your emotions, you don't have to make struggle decisions. It's just like money when it comes to being in the hood. The reason that they always open cash advance places in spaces where people don't have money is because they know that when you get under duress, you're going to make a decision that's not best for you because you're emotionally jarred by the idea that you need money now. More importantly, how can I sit here and kick it with my guys and say, hey, listen, don't jump at the first thing that say something to you just because she a little cute little girl over there. She says, I'm 25. I said, I'm 41. Oh my God. You so cute for 41. I said, you so young for 25. You know what I'm saying? And it was almost like, no, I ain't had no Porsche. I was walking. I walked all day yesterday. That's all I did. I catch public transportation. I walk. I didn't even have this on. I had another watch on. I had my Apple Watch on, but my whole sleeve was covered up, so it didn't even matter. My point is that when you're not impressed because you already got it, you're not tripping off of it, and so it's not nothing that can tempt you. You can't tempt me with anything that I'm not interested in. That don't impress me. That don't mean nothing to me. So then when I asked, I said, you ain't, because me saying, hey, you got Instagram was really me telling her, I don't want your phone number, but I appreciate the conversation. You know what I'm saying? I actually needed to get over and get ready to go live stream over with Q and them because it's 10 o'clock because I'm not missing out on no money and no bags and no conversation with my people at all. And so she was, and she was cute, and she was a white woman and 25. She got so offended that she literally got up and she started walking out the door. And then on her way out, because the bartender was coming back around the bar in order to be able to get something, because she had just ran off or whatever. And she's talking to the bartender, and she's talking furiously at the bartender. The bartender comes back over to me, and the bartender says, you must have really made her mad. I said, why? What did she say? She said she couldn't believe what you said to her. She said, what did you say to her? I said, I asked her if she had Instagram. She said, Anton, it was more than that. I said, I asked her if she had Instagram because I didn't want to give her my phone number. I don't give my phone number out to nobody. Is this a business call? We getting some money together? I don't see you. I don't see you. It don't mean nothing to me. And you can be cordial. You can be cool. You can have a good conversation. But the thing that I'm advocating for you guys to do is A, operate in abundance. B, exercise a level of discipline. C, stop being so easily impressed just because she a woman. And then D, understand that with great power comes great responsibility. What makes a man great is two things. Doing what you don't want to do when you don't want to do it. That means that you have to get up and take care of business every day. And the second thing that makes a man great is doing what you want to do when nobody else is looking. Meaning that I'm still going to operate as Anton from AntonDaniels.com with integrity, love, and abundance, whether I'm on a live stream or whether I'm by myself. It don't matter. I'm the same way 100% of the time. So I don't have to worry about cameras. I don't worry about exposure. I don't worry about any of that foolishness because I'm 100% of the time. You wonder. Here's a gem for you. Everybody always say, Anton, why do you got so much freedom? How come your chick don't trip? How come she always chill when you around other women and stuff like that? You know why? Because I'm me 100% of the time. And she ain't worried about what it is that I'm doing because I've already solidified myself as a real one. And so her focus can be 100% on the task that I gave her that allows for her to really be able to live in her abundance because I'm grooming her continuously to be the best version of herself. She ain't worried about what I got going on because she 100% worried about what she gonna do for fun later on that day. I ain't got to worry about any of that foolishness because I'm chilling. I'm chilling. I'm slow motion. Gentlemen, operate in abundance. Enjoy life. Don't be so easily impressed just because she young, dumb, and full of, and just have a good time. Life is so much cooler, it's so much sweeter because you're not easily impressed by anything and anyone that want run up to you and want to have a conversation. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I was going to tell y'all that story last night, but I figured I'd save it for the day. We got an incredible show that's lined up. We're going to do great things. One thing is for sure and two things is for certain. I'm never fumbling the bag, especially on no woman. Especially on no woman. Baby, you're going to have to come better than that. Y'all ready to get started with the show? Y'all ready to get started with the show? Listen, if you looking to set me up, you're going to have to get me a whole nother way, fellas. I don't care who you are. We ain't worried about no box. Yeah, you got to come a little bit different than that. Y'all ready to get started with the show? Make sure y'all get that Tiege Hanley 30% off your first order plus a free gift. Actually, free 30% off your continuous order. So that link is in the description. We got the March link up today. Got the March link up today. Okay. I like that. Also, if you're not a chaser, looking to rock out, going in a direction with a group of people that you really want to go in, make sure you tap into the Patreon. The link is in the description. We got Stock Club tonight, and it's going to be awesome. I'm feeling great. I feel better than I ever felt in my entire life. I went to the doctor last week. They said, Anton, you are a model of perfect health. Your numbers is beautiful. I see you over there losing weight, working out. I went to the gym yesterday. I went to the gym this morning. I said, my people is waiting on me. We going to do this Phenomenal Millionaire Morning Show. Man, what more can I ask for? I can't complain. If everything went to hell tomorrow, I was in heaven today. I'm appreciative. I love it. I love it. Let's get started with the show again. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm. Link to the Patreon. The best day to join the Patreon is in the beginning of the month. So I want to read these super chats, and then we're going to get started with the show. Shout out to Travis Rebus says, just got to say, the Q show last night was crazy. It was. Even though I was struggle streaming, I don't know what was up to my connection last night. I really appreciate those hard questions being asked. And also, 2K is a fool. Yeah, I'm going to give 2K that 360 deal. I'm going to give him that 360 deal. Charles Pride is in the building and says, let's go. Ready to grow a little more. Know and learn a lot. A little more. Utilize to show a little more. A lot of more. Utilize to show a little more. Okay, I got that. Blessings to you, big dog. Much love to the Chasers. Shout out to the Chasers. I appreciate you, Charles. You've been rocking with me. You've been holding me down. Cody Marshall says it's a trap. For who? For who? I don't even like peanut butter. And you putting peanut butter over there, I'm going to walk around it. I don't even want to go that way. You know what I'm saying? You can't trap me. How you going to trap me? And I ain't interested in peanut butter. When I order my acai bowls, I said, remove the peanut butter, please. James Moore says, thank you for all you do, bro. Listen, I live my life like an open book, and I want to be an example to my guy. Ray Sean says, fact. Shout out to the D-Discipline. Can't no woman come up and ever say that Anton and did anything that he ain't supposed to be doing. I stand on what I stand on. You know what I'm saying? Larry Walker says, Anton, the Q show was amazing last night. Don't we put on the best shows? Don't we put on the best shows? Self-made forever in the building. Shout out to Fi Brown. I see you, my dog. Says, AD, what's your perspective on the Houston woman who adopted her husband after his car accident to start a family with her new husband? This is a nightmare. What? Okay, I guess we're going to be addressing that tonight. Maybe we'll talk about that on After Hours. I'm not familiar with that self-made. I have not seen that yet. I'm going to go into that. Thank y'all for holding me down. I also want to give a shout out to my dog, Mike, that dude. Shout out to my dog, Mike, that dude that hold me down. Also, I want to give a shout out to my dog, Michael, Edwin Seeley. I appreciate both of y'all on Cash App. And I also want to give a shout out to Jeffrey. What up, Jeff? Thank you, my friend, for holding me down. I'm going to be reading these super chats and Cash Apps throughout the day because I appreciate y'all. Let's get into the show, ladies and gentlemen. Tiffany. Tiff. I guess Tiff said that she don't want to accept my invitation. She said she'd rather fly to New York than fly to Detroit. I'm with it, Tiff. Well, before we get over to her being in New York, because I heard that she was on the Angela Yee show, first, Let me give you a little bit of an update of what's going on in Dalton. You would think that Dalton was the size of Chicago. I mean, they calling her an embattled mayor. An embattled mayor. Imagine being an embattled mayor of a city of less than like $20,000 or 20,000 people. I'm sorry. Let's go ahead and get into it again. Make sure I hit a like for the algorithm. Thank you, P. Shank. I'm going to read that shortly. Let's get into it, y'all.
WGN investigates. Caught in the middle of dysfunction in Dalton. We've been reporting on questionable spending by the suburb's leader.
Another story of those impacted by the political paralysis fueled by mismanagement and mistrust. Here's investigative reporter Ben Bradley.
Hey guys, this is Mayor Tiffany Henyard, the people's mayor. We are out here throughout the community and we are taking care of the business of the people.
On this day, the people's business was tree trimming.
Right now, your prayers have been answered. We are cutting and trimming trees.
Mayor Tiffany Henyard isn't shy about promoting herself or her work.
Hey guys, it's me. Yes, me. Superman.
But WGN Investigates found there are often payment problems for Henyard's pet projects. The village owed more than $30,000 for this skating rink and didn't pay until a lawyer sent a threatening letter. Records show a company that repaved Dalton streets in 2022 sent bills for more than a year on a $378,000 balance. With interest, the bill has now grown to more than $427,000. Last month, a bank threatened to repossess more than a dozen village vehicles, including police cars, because lease payments were missed. After our reporting, the village sent a check.
We're going to start the special board meeting of the trustees.
Henyard's opponents on the village board say the mayor refuses to provide records to prove expenses are legit, and some bills they've approved don't get paid.
We know one thing, the finances aren't good, but specifically where we're at, we're still left in the dark.
We have vendors calling us every day for non-payment. A lot of these vendors we don't even know are doing the work.
As WGN Investigates has reported, taxpayer money hasn't stopped flowing to fund Henyard's security detail, meals at pricey restaurants, even first-class travel. Henyard is not only the mayor of Dalton, she's also the supervisor of Thornton Township. Records show she and her entourage have billed taxpayers for tens of thousands of dollars for unexplained trips and stays at high-end hotels, including the Four Seasons.
I do not handle anything as relates to with credit cards. As you heard me speak today in my board meeting about, I do not handle that.
Some of those charges are for you, though.
No, sir.
You didn't go to Las Vegas? What is that?
No comment.
As for the tree trimming, Henyard was happy to promote it.
We had a little storm last night and some trees fell down. This tree fell on this person's car.
While blaming trustees for failing to pay for it.
I wanted to bring to your attention last night's board meeting that the Board of Trustees voted not to pay tree companies that is servicing our area. Despite what people may think or may know is they still showed up today to work and they're helping the residents get back on their feet, cutting down their trees.
They never give a reason why. We're not going to pay you.
The tree trimming company's owner says he does work for several suburbs, but the dysfunction in Dalton is unique and costly to taxpayers.
With all the compounding interest, their balance as of this coming Monday is going to be $401,380.73 in rolling.
Trustees opposed to Mayor Henyard say the tree trimming operation is a prime example of their frustration. They say Henyard made her own deal for the work, didn't consult with trustees ahead of time, there was no contract, and the $400,000 amount far exceeds the budget, and that's why they won't pay it.
So, couple different things, right? She went on Roland Martin's show, and Roland Martin asked her, and he said, listen, is it a deficit? Are y'all $7 million in a hole? And she said, no, we not. We are not $7 million in a hole. He said, how is it not a deficit if y'all don't have enough money to continue to pay for all of the stuff that's happening in Dalton, especially considering that this is not a wealthy suburb. This is a city outside of Chicago that has residents that don't necessarily make a whole lot of money. And I would never throw the people of Dalton under the bus because this has nothing to do with you. She said the people don't necessarily make a whole lot of money, but at the same time, you know, how are you not able to pay your bills and how do you continue to spend considering? And she said, well, it shows as a deficit because the trustees won't necessarily pay the bills. I said, aha. But did she answer the question? The question is, how are you operating at a deficit? One of the reasons that you have to start sifting through and asking the context behind the questions, which I think that Roland Martin did a horrible job doing because he just threw a bunch of softball questions. Then he wanted to do one segment and then come back and say, well, she lied to me on this or whatever. Or she lied to me about her foundation. He didn't ask her for the context. He didn't say, hey, listen, are you making these deals on your own or are you considering and then using the leverage that we have as trustees in order to vet through or go through all of the processes in order to, in most cities, if it's above a certain amount, usually around $40,000 for work, then you got to get it approved. You just can't automatically say, hey, listen, I want that service. So she goes out, does not have a bidding process, does what she wants to do, promotes herself as though she's the one to do it, and then she throws the trustees, the people that's supposed to work for her, under the bus and say, listen, they want to pay the bills. Well, first of all, nobody operated the way that you're supposed to operate because this is not a dictatorship. It's the reason why you have trustees. It's the reason why you have council members. But also on top of that, you can't just do what you want to do when you want to do it. Getting deals, doing bargains. We don't know. We don't have no transparency. We don't know what's going on. When we call for an investigation, oh, I'm sorry. We gonna get there. We'll get there. So we know that Dalton is just completely floundering. We know that, you know, they struggling, that the budget is a certain amount, but they going out of control with regard to the budget, that she feels like she needs private security and all of this other type of stuff. Okay, cool. Right? Awesome. So let's deep dive a little bit more, right? So now when the trustees said, listen, they want a spending investigation, they want to understand, and they wanted to do a deep dive. They want to audit. They want somebody outside of themselves and outside of Tiffany Henyard to come in and make sure the spending is aligned with what it is that they approve with the budget, and to make sure that she's not out here spending recklessly and doing what she want to do when she want to do it. They called for an investigation, and Tiffany vetoed it and rejected it. If you have nothing to hide, then why would you veto an investigation into the spending?
A contentious village meeting in Dalton tonight as embattled Mayor Tiffany Henyard fights back.
And WGN Investigates has revealed issues with the village's finances, and there are calls for an investigation. Jenna Barnes has more on this still developing story.
Another tense meeting here in Dalton. Mayor Tiffany Henyard blaming trustees for the village's troubles.
Stop creating chaos.
Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard at the helm of the village's first packed meeting since Dalton trustees passed a resolution last month requiring her to turn over the village's financial records and asking the FBI to investigate her alleged misuse of village funds. The mayor admits to a $2 million deficit, but trustees say it's millions more. Monday night, the mayor vetoed their resolution.
The veto message is...
So think about that. So she went on Roland Martin and he said, hey, is it a $7 million deficit? She said, no. They're lying. And the reason why it's not a deficit is because they ain't paid the bills, but it definitely ain't $7 million. But then, based off of these investigations, she did admit that it is still a deficit. So you telling me that Roland Martin, with all of his investigation and interviewing skills and all of his understanding of diversity, equity, and inclusion, didn't or haven't had sense enough to actually ask the context behind whether or not it is a deficit at all? All he did was get her on a platform for an interview. So it is a deficit. And she's only willing to admit up to $2 million, but she's refusing to turn over the village records. And they've been floundering ever since she got into office. Got it.
Is related to the secret squirrel meetings, yes, that the Board of Trustees have.
The trustees vow to override her veto. One of them, Kiana Belcher, sitting at the meeting with her portrait because she says it was removed from the wall of Village Hall.
And this is just
process to drag it along. But everybody see what's going on.
The village under Henyard's leadership is cracking down on access, pushing media at tonight's meeting to the very back of the room, almost out of sight of public comment from residents. But their voices were loud and clear.
You lied to us as residents. You do not stand for me. And I want you to step down as mayor today and save our village from this deficit that you have caused.
The mayor can blame everybody for what's going on, but she has to look at herself. Nobody told her to get on TV and lie like that.
Everybody cares about the person that's making the mess.
Henyard placing the blame elsewhere.
But only judge when you got both sides of the story, not one-sided narratives, which is negative narratives in the media.
Trustee Belcher says the trustees do have the votes to override the mayor's veto, but they can't take that vote until the next meeting next month.
Let's see what the residents had to say, because I believe that the news did a report on the residents and what their sentiment is, because I know that she said that she was going to definitely win the next election.
A tense meeting in Dalton tonight as residents voiced their frustrations with the mayor and recent allegations against her. Mayor Tiffany Henyard is accused of using village money for personal reasons as Dalton's unpaid bills have piled up. Now, some village trustees are calling for a federal investigation into her dealings. Henyard has denied the allegations, but tonight residents calling out the mayor.
We don't need anything else saying that what you're claiming to do for the village. We need accountability. We need information on the finances.
I'm asking that you either step down or the trustees for the village of Dalton that voted you in to vote you out.
So after those public comments, Henyard responded, calling the accusations false.
It's facts over fiction for me. So I will state facts, I will show receipts, and I will make sure that our community is back together as one. It amazes me how people can get together and come to a board meeting and just have hate in their heart and not love on each other.
Henyard said she wants future board meetings to focus on other issues.
Watch break. I think that this woman could quite possibly be a supervillain in the making. I think she might be a supervillain, honestly. All jokes aside, I think that this woman is the most arrogant person that I've ever seen in the news and on the media. I mean, listen, I know that y'all say that Trump is arrogant. We're going to get to him shortly. But I, in no way, shape, or form, have ever seen anybody that's got more arrogance to them and don't give a F about what nobody is saying at all. I have never seen a person that is this crazy and refuse to turn over what is supposed to be public information. Has anybody filed a Freedom of Information Act request over in Dalton? This is other people's money. We don't care about what you think about love and I love you back and all of that. Has she started her podcast yet? Let me see what's going on out here in these streets. On the Move with Tiff. On the Move with Tiffany Henyard. Let's put that there. It's not popping up. It's not necessarily popping up. I need to make sure that I subscribe to that again. Is that a part of my subscriptions? I don't remember if that was a part of my subscriptions. We'll get there. We'll get there. I'm waiting on her to drop the first episode of the podcast because she loves you, even if you don't love her back. I'm curious. But on top of that, Tiffany didn't just hit him with the 1-2 shebang. She didn't just hit him with the 1-2 shebang. I'm going to read the super chat shortly. She also came back and she says, I'm not just going on Roland Martin. I'm also going on Angela Yee. All the way up show. She did. I have not seen it. I said that I wanted to just share it with the people. I don't know what's going up with Angela Yee. Her numbers is kind of weird. But she said that she was going all the way up with Angela Yee. Shout out to my girl, Randy Rosario from Detroit. She was on Angela Yee's show the other day as a co-host. Rocking out with her. I appreciate her. Shout out to my girl. Apparently, she said, I'm going from Roland to Angela Yee. I'm bigger than this. We'll read Super Chat shortly. Get the likes up. Let's see what she had to say.
90,000 people?
Yes.
And then the mayor of Dalton, which is 23,000 residents.
Yes.
So it's 23,000 residents inside of Dalton. 23,000 residents in Dalton where she's the mayor of, okay?
Okay, so explain the difference in both of those positions for people who are...
I don't need to hear that part.
It is meaning mayor and supervisor, but there's plenty of elected officials that have multiple seats.
Okay, because I always think of mayor as like such a full-time job that kind of occupies all of your time.
And it does, but it's considered part-time in my community.
Okay.
So I'm able to do other things too.
All right, and you have been in the news a lot, so that's why I'm glad that you're up here today to clear up some things.
Yes, I'm here to lay the mess to rest.
Because the way they make it seem like you cookie from, you know, but you know, that's the way they make it seem like you're walking around, you got all the security, dressed all fly. And so I know part of your position is that you are able to have security detail with you. And most mayors
Shout
do.
out to the super chats.
I know our mayor definitely
shortly.
does. And I've been around to see other people have security.
Yes. It comes with the seat.
But
here's the thing. You said Joe Mayor. You in New York. Yee. You can't compare one of the most prosperous cities in the United States of America in New York City that has 8.3 million people and a multi-billion-dollar budget with a 23,000 seat or 23,000 person city in Dalton outside of Chicago, where the average income is about $25,000 a year. Jesus Christ.
Also see that I was able to get some of these messages because you do get voicemails, but also emails of people that have been threatening you.
That's correct.
Some of them are, do you mind if I read?
Sure, you can share.
Because I know this could be triggering. I don't know how you feel about this, but okay, you're a effing crick, you ugly bee.
That's wild. Y'all can't be doing that. Y'all can't be doing that. If you're gonna criticize her, let me throw Tiff a lifeline right now. Y'all can't do that. No matter how you feel about a person, regardless of what you think, and we all have differences of opinion, and most of us don't stand for what she represents when it comes to, doing her job effectively. You can't do that. You can't make it personal. You got to remove your feelings out of it. You cannot do that. That's the one thing that I do not agree with, that I do not stand for. I know that people get in their emotions and they start doing. If you rock with me, don't do none of that junk. I don't stand for that. I don't rock with that. I don't believe in getting personal like that. I don't believe in starting to talk about people's family members. None of that. I don't stand for that. I'm not with that. So that's the one thing that I'm just not rocking with. I will never do to somebody else what I'm not cool with being done back to me. And so when y'all go into that and y'all start talking about all of that, y'all got to remember, she's still got a daughter. She's still a mother. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not even a person that like her whatsoever. But you can't do that, bro. Attack the argument, attack what she's doing on the job. You know what I'm saying? Hold her accountable for whether or not she's doing something legal or illegally. But you cannot take it personal and start sending threats. And I also want y'all to understand, too, that when y'all do that, y'all do realize that they can turn that into the FBI or they can turn that into the authorities. And so they can trace that back to you and say, hold you accountable for that. So be very, very careful with that. Don't send people threats and emails and any of that other type of stuff. Just keep it G and just address it for what it is.
Prison soon, so get that nasty, greasy black vagina ready for Shanique.
What do you mean she picked the emails and texts? She shouldn't be receiving any threats. It don't matter if she picked them. Okay, so what you wanted to do? Pick the good ones and the bad ones? I would pick the bad ones too if I'm her. Don't send me nothing. Don't send me nothing when it comes to a threat. Because I have to take that personal. I got a family. You know what I'm saying? And again, I'm not the type of person that ever stand for her because I disagree wholeheartedly with what she's doing. But you cannot sit there and threaten nobody in real life. That's not cool. I don't know what's wrong with y'all. Do we really got to go here and have this conversation? Stop. It's too much, man.
The inmates will love to have orgies with the racist, crooked mayor. All right, to move on to some more Hey, grifter, maybe learn to effing speak English sometime. Your grammar is atrocious, but I guess that's what can be expected from a mayor who looks like you do. I mean, these aren't even the worst ones, by the way. I just want to say there's a lot more in here. Somebody called you a despicable, savage, monkey, N-word B.
Yeah, that's
told you
wild. And see, you know what y'all do when y'all do that? Let me tell you what y'all do when y'all do that. Y'all actually throw her a lifeline. That's how dumb people are. We could hold her accountable. This is supposed to me looking at this objectively holding her accountable for whether or not she lied or not. Now I got to sit here and defend her because y'all don't actually want to operate above board, but y'all want to go all the way on the other side. So because you don't like her or because you don't stand for her or anything like that, instead of us doing it the right way, which would be more of an expedited process to hold her accountable, now you threw her a lifeline because people can start to feel sorry for her because then she can cherry pick through her messages and say, look, they called me this, look, they called me that. Y'all don't understand that y'all probably do more harm as far as holding us back from doing our job than you do help. Look at it. Look at this. Y'all some of y'all, I don't even know why y'all even existing and being able to operate in society the way that y'all operate. Y'all are ignorant, dumb, and ignorant. Ignorant, idiots. Just shut up. If you don't know how to objectively move, you actually hurt the movement when it comes to us cleaning up society and making sure that we hold people accountable. I'm too nice to Tiffany? No, I'm objective. And I don't take it personal. I've never attacked her family. I know a whole lot about her that I could say on this platform, but I'm never going to attack family. I'm never going to attack people. I don't do that. Y'all some idiots, bro, sometimes.
You better watch your back. And then I did hear some of the voicemails. One just says, F all you goddamn N-words. And you are the first Black woman to be in this position.
Yes, in both positions.
In both positions, and the youngest.
And the youngest, yes.
So did this start happening once the news was reporting on what, and we're going to get into what the news has been reporting.
How did she send herself when they got the emails right there with the email addresses? And more importantly, man, y'all, let me just be quiet. Let me focus. Because sometimes y'all get me out of my square and then y'all have me all riled up over some dumb junk when we supposed to be focused on taking care of business. No, the people that's saying that ain't chasers. The people that's saying that, they not chasers.
Start happening before the news
exactly, Kyla. That's why she
after.
That's why she can have security now. That's why it's gonna cost taxpayers more money for her to have security now because she can justify it because you guys are ignorant and sending these wild things. So stupid. Now it makes sense for her to have more security, costing taxpayers money.
Now we got some emails or some things here and there, but it wasn't this bad. It got worse once the news got involved because they got a national platform.
Right.
So people tend to believe what they see on the news. And they just report things. Anybody can go do an interview with them with no fact checking. Anybody can say anything, and then now that's considered defamation of character. And then now you have to go clean it all up because now.
I expect better from you. Of all people that's here, Brown, I expect better from you. We operate above board under all circumstances. Under all circumstances. We operate above board under all circumstances. Two things can be true at the same time. She can be held accountable for her actions, and at the same time, y'all can operate above board. Are y'all this childish? So let me ask y'all a question, because y'all saying, where's the receipts, right? Where's the receipts? She has to literally prove to y'all that she's getting threatened in order for the threat to be real.
people and put you out there in the bad light, and people tend to believe what they see on the news. And that's why I believe what Trump say when it comes to fake news. Fake news is true because I'm living it. I'm going through it right now.
I believe Trump also said if you say something enough times, people will believe it, whether or not it's true.
I believe that.
And he definitely does that. But you did win 82% of the vote when you ran for office.
Landslide, yep.
And a landslide victory. So how in your town of Dalton do people feel about you now with everything that's going on? Because I would assume that matters the most.
It does. So that's what I do. I still on the ground.
Don't tell me to move on and let's get to the real matters at hand. Don't tell me what to do. That's a real matter. It's a real matter. What you mean? Tell me to move on and get to the real matters at hand. You know, it's easy for people to say that when they ain't never been threatened before. When they ain't never had to have security before. It's easy for people to lean into that and to divert the movement when they ain't never had to been through it, when they ain't never worried about whether or not somebody know where their daughter is at school or not. Don't you know that these people out here, it only take one person. It only take one person. How many threats do it take for somebody to get worried about their family and stuff? What's wrong with y'all?
Boots on the ground. I never stop talking to my residents. I constantly have conversation with the mayor. I also have a lot of outreach things going on where community is involved and community is engaged. A lot of people tell me how they feel, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, and I take it and I either go fix what they're telling me that I need to fix or work on, or you got people that's all the way, Team Tiffany. No matter what, hashtag I stand with Tiff. All of my saying that. So I love that because my base is my base. Just like everybody out in the world have a base. No matter what people say, people support them.
And you're from Dalton, Illinois, born and raised there. Tell me something about the town because I've never been there. I know it's outside of Chicago. But tell me if you...
But it is not now.
Okay. Yeah. So what are some things that you feel like you need, that you've been bringing to the city? Like you said, you've been doing a lot of different initiatives, boots on the ground. So what are some things that are necessary in Dalton?
So right now, again, we got to put love back in it and get a hold of our youth. That's what's missing. Right now, people don't raise the community. And we need the village to be raising our kids again. That's how it was, like I said, when I came in town. Your neighbors will watch you, get you off the bus. You will eat dinner with them till your parents come home. Things like that. That's missing. And that's all I'm trying to do is bring those roots back to my community, which I love. Because I wouldn't be in this if I didn't love it. You got to love where you come from. And you got to start at home before you start outreaching to other communities and trying to build them.
And that's all cap. It's a good public sentiment. And although I disagree with a lot of this crazy chat, I wish I was in after hours because I would cuss y'all out right now. I would absolutely just lose it and cuss y'all out right now. But God know what he doing, and he know to make sure that we talk about this on the Millionaire Morning Show, because I will read y'all the riot act, and I don't care who felt any kind of way about it. I'm going to say what I'm going to say. But I'm going to deal with that later because I got after hours tonight so I can get off my big mad energy. But this is all cap, because she's not doing it because she loves the community. She's doing it because she getting the bag from it. And there's no other way for her to be able to get the bag that she getting outside of making almost $300,000 a year doing her job. If it was about the community, then she would lower how much she's paying herself instead of lowering it if she's losing. It's all cap. It's 100% cap.
And you got to start at home before you start outreaching to other communities and trying to build them.
So when do you, okay, so we talked about the news and when they started attacking you, but all right, I want to talk about some of these stories that we see in the news, and I want you to be able to speak to them so that people can know, because I've even seen these stories, you know, here in New York. So, all right, so let's talk about it. There was a person who said that he didn't contribute to your campaign, and therefore he was not able to get his license for his business. His business has not been able to operate. So it was basically equivalent to extortion from what he was saying, and that other businesses haven't been able to get their licenses because they didn't contribute to the campaign.
So that's a false statement. And that's what I mean about the news not doing any research. They just let people get on the news and talk. And I'm going to say this, and then I'm going to go further into your question. Malcolm X once said,
oh, shut that up. See? Oh, come on, man. Don't start talking to me about what Malcolm X said. I don't want to hear what that is. Just tell me what the piss is going on. Malcolm X said, did you mess up his license or didn't you? We can go ahead and expedite this process 100%.
Power to make a guilty person look innocent and an innocent person look guilty. That's their power. So that's why I'm sitting here telling my story today, because that's exactly what they're doing to me. So with that being said, they put people like that in front of the cameras, went and didn't do no fact checking. If people want to know the truth, I'm going to do it on my podcast, Tiffany Henyard on the Move.
On Spotify, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell and show the facts and the proof of whatever a business owner did not do as relates to their business. If they're not up to code, if they had a ton of shootings at their establishments, which a lot of them had these type of issues. But no one put that out there. But I am now. And I'm not the one to never try to drag or talk about a business, because you should handle it behind closed doors, meaning your business, before people put it in the spotlight and now you're being attacked.
Right. Okay, so you're saying that this person's business was rightfully not able to get his license until he cleared up whatever it is that he needs to clear up.
Correct. We have documentation of all of that. And I can give it to you too, and that way you can follow up and show the world.
Yeah, you're right, because we all got to do our research. Now, you
were on she didn't answer the question. Why wasn't he able to get his license for his business? And why was his business removed from being able to get its license when he didn't make the donation? So she just blew hot smoke up our butts. And I'm not saying pause because I'm a 41-year-old man. She just blew a whole bunch of smoke and said, go and check out her podcast. Okay, I got it. Awesome.
And that interview aired yesterday, and he was talking about your nonprofit. You have a charity. Well, you said you don't have a charity, but there's a charity. It has your name on it, right? It's what is it? Tiffany Henyard Cares.
Tiffany Henyard Cares. Yes.
Tiffany Henyard Cares. Yep. And so he says, you know, it looked like it was your charity. There was video of you promoting this charity, but you're saying it's not yours. Somebody's using your name.
That's correct.
Okay.
So just to clear it up, when I say it's not my charity, I'm not a board member on the charity.
We know that,
I can tell you what
ma'am.
they do with their day-to-day. What I'm responsible for is my mayorship and my supervisor position. And it's amazing how people are pinpointing on a charity when there's so much stuff going on with
No. Don't gaslight us. Don't gaslight us, ma'am. You said you don't know nothing about the charity, that you didn't start it, and that wasn't a thing. Word for word, quote for quote. Don't move the goalposts. Don't change the narrative. Don't do none of that. Don't pass go. Don't collect $200. Don't open a community chest. Don't do nothing. And then it was on video of you saying, this is my charity. This is what I started a charity. That's the classic move. That is a classic move. Hey, listen. You know, I just don't know why people are so focused on the small things. Y'all focus on a charity? It's so much that's happening in the community. We got to cut trees down. We got to, ma'am, did you start the charity or not? Answer the question. We don't want you gaslighting. We didn't bring you here because we thought that you was awesome. We brought you here to really get some answers and to understand exactly what's going on. The technical details don't matter. You know what it is. Now, if I go and start something that says Tiffany Henyard is trash, which I would never do, because I'm using a name and she don't really, you know what I'm saying? She don't really care. I wonder how well that would go over.
As relates to the two areas that I actually do govern. I do support the individuals that has the charity. I am always an advocate for cancer because my mom had cancer.
Wait. You do support the two individuals that have the charity. You said you didn't know nothing about the charity. You said you didn't know nothing about the charity.
I feel they are good wielded people as it relates to what they was trying to do or trying to accomplish. And I think people make
Super
mistakes.
chat shortly.
People didn't file paperwork and they blew it up into a story like everybody else don't file paperwork. I'll give you a prime example. If you have an LLC or something like that and you don't file and you go check, and I'll check and see if you registered, and they go say not in good standing.
Right.
Until you pay the $75 or $150, whatever it is, then it puts you in good standing. It's the same concept. It's just that people are missing the point of it. And I get that people
we
really,
know
really
that you took public funds and taxpayer funds in order to fund and put the charity's name behind it in order to continue to promote yourself, and God knows what happened to the money. Come on, man. Don't gaslight me.
Help people.
We know that she would never stand in front of me. We know that she would go on these softball platforms, that they give you an opportunity. It's people that would never stand in front of me. Umar Johnson, Tiffany Henyard, they all scholars, they all educated, they all hold these powerful positions, but these people will never stand in front of me, ever. And the invitation is always going to be open.
Hurt people.
Right. Running a nonprofit, we know a lot of times there are always issues with that, but they need to be able to account like where the money was going. But like you said, that's not your nonprofit. That is somebody else's.
Nonsense.
But your name is not on that. They just use your name, I guess, as a way to garner attention.
Correct. Just what's yours? Way Up.
Yeah.
So somebody go use that today.
Yeah.
Does that mean you got anything to do with it?
Well, Angela Yee nonprofit, I would be like, hold on, that's like I would not want that.
Yeah.
But Way Up, anybody could use that. But if it was like my personal name on it, I probably would not. I would not want somebody, unless I was involved in it and they came to me, because you would feel like that's my name.
Yeah.
Because you do know if something goes wrong, that's your name.
And I agree.
And
And it's a learning curve. And that's what I try to tell people. I'm not perfect. No one's perfect. So when you find out mistakes or things happen, you go and you try to fix it. But people got to be giving you the chance to fix it and not just beat you up so much.
Right. It's just that a lot of these things are in the headlines. That's why I'm asking, because I want you to discuss it head on firsthand. All right. Then there was a situation where it was a city council meeting and people said they were not allowed to come up and voice their opinions in this meeting. They were blocked downstairs from being able to ask questions.
Well, that's not true as it relates to being blocked. If somebody was blocked or felt they was blocked, they can always reach out to us because our meetings are like 4 or 5 hours long. So I don't know who's blocked in my village.
Okay.
Coming to comment. You can go pull our board meetings up and you can see.
It was on camera. It was on camera. Yo, Teflon Tiff is something else. This chick is a real villain. She like the Penguin. Actually, she more like Bane. This chick is like Bane. She is a real villain in real life.
That everybody's allowed to speak because it's before we start our board meeting.
Okay.
Public comment.
All right, good. And then,
She said, all right, good. Good job, Angela Yee.
Be a person, I know that sometimes things are inaccurate, and I know that when there's a story being painted of somebody, you do have to go to the source and do some research.
Yeah.
Which I don't like clickbait, so I always encourage people to make sure you read the full story before you do that. All right, the next thing people did talk about was finances, right? And they said, oh, she's traveling first class, staying at the Four Seasons, blowing this money, and that money now the company, the town used to be have a surplus of money, but now there's a deficit. But then I also see on the paperwork that I have from your team that you guys have gotten the largest in the history of the city with $15 million in grants from people. And despite the adversity and the resilience, your commitment is undeniable, and you have all these initiatives that you've done. So let's talk about the disparity between those two stories.
Okay. So one thing about me is I won't stop. I don't sleep. I'm going to keep going. While they talking about me, I'm still working. So when I'm still working, I still manage to get money to come to our communities. We was awarded $15 million. I had the largest in the history for Thornton Township, and then the largest in the history for the village of Dalton. So more than any mayor, more than any supervisor throughout all the controversy. So if a person was that bad, people want to keep on supporting them because no matter what, this is all about helping the people. And that's where I think we're losing focus when they do the stories. They don't talk about what I've done. Nothing
Nothing
I
positive.
accomplished. Nothing positive. And I say, hey guys, how can a person be so bad and then do not one good thing? Not one good thing in any story they write about me. Every story they write is negative. And I don't know nobody that can just deal with all negative stuff all day long with none positive in their brain. I just can't get with it. And that's why you see me just constantly push through it, because I told them before, we gonna go through it, but we gotta grow through it at the same time. And that's kind of what I've been doing. And I'm just glad that you was able to mention some of the things that we actually created. Can I go a little further with it?
Yeah, please.
Okay.
So, this is your platform now.
So we did a and I'm sorry, I'm a little hoarse. We built a outdoor skating rink and roller rink.
First class flights. I don't want us to be I don't want us to be, because a lot of times when people talk a lot, you get removed from the original question. First class flights, Four Seasons hotels, flights for staff members and friends and family or whoever it is, security detail. Did you go to the meetings that you was actually supposed to be with as far as to learn what you supposed to learn at the conferences? Was you partying? Did you go and spend extra money? Are you, you know what I'm saying? That's what we wanted. That was the question. No? That was the question? How do we get over to this part? Okay, cool. I guess we gaslighting again, okay?
Ice skating and roller rink. So in the summer they can roller skate. We had the JB skaters out there, and in the winter they can ice skate. What I love about that concept is now we're giving people the opportunity to go to the Olympics, be who they want to be, to practice in our own backyards in the black and brown communities. We normally have to go to a different community.
Did she say go to the Olympics? Did she say go to the Olympics? Of all of the things that I could have possibly heard, did she say go to the Olympics? Let me just rewind it real quick. I just want to make sure that we all on the same page.
Is in our own backyards in the black and brown communities. We normally have to be who they want to be, to practice in our up is now we're giving people the opportunity to go to the Olympics, be who they.
Did I miss something? Hold on. Give me a second. Just give me a second. I want to make sure that we all on the same page. Trying to find any Dolton, Illinois Olympians. Dolton, Illinois Olympians. Yeah. Yeah. Last person was Quinn Buckner. Y'all want to see who Quinn Buckner? He went to the high school in Thornton. Here, I'll give y'all a little bit of idea. This is Quinn Buckner. Born in 1954. He's 69 years old. He was a 1976 gold medal team Olympian after playing basketball. And he was a head coach. Hold on, wait. Buckner is only one of 8 players in history to win an NCAA championship and an Olympic gold medal. And he was born in Phoenix, Illinois. He went to Thornridge in Dolton, Illinois. That was in the 70s. I just want to make sure that we all on the same page. I don't want to be I don't want y'all to be discouraged. I want to make sure that we all, because I had to do some fact checking in real time. All right, shout out to him. Shout out to Quinn Buckner. Want to make sure we all on the same page.
They want to be to practice in our own backyards in the black and brown communities. We normally have to go to a different community in order to engage or get practice or have swimming lessons, things like that.
Right.
My job is to create things for our community so that they can grow into what they want to be. Another thing that I do love about what I've done is now the youth are following Tiffany Henyard. The youth know who a mayor is. The youth know who's a supervisor. They did not know that before. No one could point out, oh, that's the mayor of Dalton. Oh, she does this. Oh, she came to our school and spoke to us during Black History Month.
Right.
Oh, she helped us with mental health.
First class flights, Four Seasons hotels. Okay? That was the original question.
We do a mental health tour. That's something really big that's going on nationwide, but no one's really talking about it on bigger platforms. Yeah, they go get the celebrities here and there, and people might give a little something about it, but it's happening everywhere. So when we went in there in the schools and we did the mental health tours, we was able to help kids and parents identify that they needed help and give them help. That's what I do. But they don't tell the heart of Tiffany Henyard. They want to tell the smoke and mirrors and the clickbait. No matter what people do, if they write about me, I'm golden. I get it. I get why everybody doing it. They make money off of clicks. And I didn't know that. I'm learning social media a little further, but I didn't know that that's how big it has gotten.
How is this how are you handling this, since we just talked about mental health and you discussed how important that is?
So we just going to skip over the whole Four Seasons and the first class. We going to skip over that. Vegas. No, we forgot about that question. Jesus Christ.
Being in the position that you're in, and like you said, this is the first time a Black woman has had this position, the youngest person in this position. You're still trying to do your day-to-day job, but yet there's a lot of articles that are disparaging towards you. How do you deal with that? How do you cope with that?
So basically, I have tunnel vision to the mess. I just keep going, ignore it. It's almost like a horse in a race, and they have the blinders on so they can't look left and right. That's Tiffany Henyard. I just focus on my goal. She's
speaking about herself in third person.
My goal is to make sure I uplift the village of Dalton and the other 16 municipalities that I'm over. I'm over 190,000 people. I have to make a lot of
Even though a lot of the attention that they're giving you in the media is negative, it is bringing a lot of attention to your township. And also for a lot of people to say, oh, that's the mayor?
Yes.
You know, a young Black woman is the mayor of, and also the supervisor of the township. So that is something that hopefully is going to be on the flip side of this, something positive. When did you know you wanted to run for mayor?
Well, after dealing and fighting with corruption and people that was in the seat prior to me, I fought against it. And the people believed enough in me that they came out by 82% and voted for the first female. And people got it all twisted when they say, oh, you just voted because she's Black or because she's a woman. No, that's not true. I've always been boots on the ground. I've always helped people. That's what people not telling
I feel
me.
like that's the opposite. Usually people won't vote for you because you Black or a woman. So
yeah.
Now it's a feminism thing. Now it's Black. And man, I can't take this shit. You almost made me cuss on a Millionaire Morning Show. I'm not about to sit here. What's the number, y'all? What's the number? Before I read the super chats, what's the number? What y'all want me to pay? Man, listen, bro. I can't. What y'all want me to pay for them to sit in front of me for 2 hours straight? What is it gonna cost me? What is it gonna cost me? What do you think they'll go for? What I gotta offer? What my offer gotta be, y'all? Because this is so garbage. I hate what is happening right now. $10 for what? $304? Woo! 20. I gotta be able to guarantee a return on that investment. Y'all crazy. 5, 2. Y'all smoking crack. Not a red cent, says sister. 4. Man, y'all cray. Tree 50. 385. 30. Mr. Tesla 365. Really? Is that what we doing? Why would I pay for something everybody else is getting for free? Y'all smoking. Let me read some of these super chats and then we're going to get on with the show. P. Shank says, good morning. Good morning, P. Shank. I appreciate you for supporting the platform. Cody Marshall says, wow, and a New Orleans City Council trying to evict the mayor and the apartments in the Paltoba apartments in French Corner. Yeah, we covered that yesterday, big dog. You got to stay engaged. Poogie's friend Ray Ray says, they said Dalton's median income is $24,000 and a blunt in the mouth. There's no way that place has emergency funds now. Facts. I'd be curious. I think I'm gonna pull the Freedom of Information Act and file for the documents. Executive Suite Emily says she's a defiant, fast-talking, measly-mouthed shyster. Tiffany is the female Lex Luthor. She denies all the false allegations. This is crazy, bro. Kung Fu Hustler says money laundering on national news. Anon says Tiff going to be rejecting that prison sentence too until Big Bertha walk up on her saying, what up, though? I likes ya and I wants ya. Man, listen, y'all crazy with y'all numbers in there. AJY says, why threaten someone you don't know? Agreed, 100%. Jones FX 426 says, asking objectively, could the calls be fake? Listen, if anybody is threatening my family in any way, shape, or form, I take that junk serious. Fryman says Romans, and y'all know who people are. This is the social media era. We done seen people go off the restaurants that wasn't even necessarily tied to Keith Lee, but was similarly named, and they practically got them shut down. So y'all already know what's happening out here in these streets. Fryman says Romans 12:19. What is Romans 12:19? You got to say the scripture, big dog. Jones says she already played the single black baby mama card. Now it's a sympathy card. Jawan Hart says, salute AD. We got to be better by threatening Tiff. We acting no better than her. We have to lead by example. Agreed. C.O. Jacob says, Tiffany Henyard or Marion Barry. Ain't that the one that was sniffing crack or something like that? Or smoking crack or something like that? Jay Hunter Lee says, she needs to stay off people's podcasts if she don't have anything substantial that clears her name. Nah, she promoting herself. I think that's her next move to actually become a content creator. Mel Duke says, Anton, I agree with not threatening anyone. I just wanted to hear the lies so you can dispute it. That's all. Peace and love, bro. Shout out to my dog, Mel Duke. I appreciate you for holding me down. Tay-Biz TV says, Tiff just looks like she about to lie. She wasn't about to lie. She was lying. Brandon Barnes says, not the Olympics. Are you kidding? Fi Brown says, yo, Anton, what I do, big bro? All I said was Ye was asking softball questions and trying to make Tiff the victim. Shout out to Fi Brown. Okay. All right. Because, you know, I got higher expectations for you. We got to operate a little bit higher above board. Shout out to Michael Mitchell Jr. Can we get a round of applause for Michael Mitchell Jr.? Mike Mitch says, celebrating my 28th birthday today and watching the greatest morning show there is. All I can say is I am blessed for both. Y'all, can y'all get a round of applause in the chat for Michael Mitchell for turning 28 years old today? Shout out to Michael Mitchell. All right. So let's continue on. We got to get to the next segment of the show. Next segment of the show is the Supreme Court actually ruled for Trump. So remember when Colorado and several different states was considering trying to remove Trump from the ballot to try to prevent people from being able to choose who's the president of the United States of America? Well, guess what? It went all the way up to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court actually ruled in Trump's favor. Check it out.
All right, we just got the breaking news. Thank you for being with us here on MSNBC. The Supreme Court issuing a ruling on the Colorado ballot case. I want to go straight to Ken Delanian, who is outside the Supreme Court with this decision. Ken, what do we know?
Good morning, Anna. We've learned that it was a 9-0 decision ruling that Donald Trump can be on the ballot in Colorado. And
now, you know, people are so mad at that. Listen. You got to be so wrong for the Supreme Court to rule 9-0, both conservative and liberal justices, 9-0 ruling that and reversing the decision of removing from. Now, how many taxpayer dollars and how much time was wasted even doing this in the first place? You got to be so wrong, 9-0, that they're removing the fact that you just egregiously lied and tried to finesse and tried to remove it from the ballot. Here's my thing. Let the people decide. It's not up to you. Let the people decide.
Other states, justices during the oral argument seemed very skeptical of the idea that one state could decide for the nation whether Donald Trump was an insurrectionist and was therefore disqualified under this 150-year-old provision. Now we know that there was not a single justice who held that view, so there were no dissents to this 9-0 decision ruling that Donald Trump can remain on the ballot in Colorado as voters go to the polls tomorrow during Super Tuesday, and also in Maine, where there had been a decision to disqualify him from the ballot. And
So
this
Super Tuesday is today.
ruling, we understand, has the effect of prohibiting other states from attempting to do so. And that really reflects what we heard from both liberal and conservative justices during the oral arguments, Anna. For example, Elena Kagan confronting the plaintiffs, essentially saying, your problem here is that you're arguing that one state can decide for the nation who can be president, and no justice was willing to go along with that.
All right, so we know that he absolutely continues to be Teflon Don, so shout out to him. But he also responded to the Supreme Court ballot victory. Check it out what he had to say.
You cannot take now on something that will be spoken about 100 years from now and 200 years from now. Extremely important. Essentially, you cannot take somebody out of a race because an opponent would like to have it that way. And it has nothing to do with the fact that it's the leading candidate, whether it was the leading candidate or a candidate that was well down on the totem pole. You cannot take somebody out of a race. The voters can take the person out of the race very quickly, but a court shouldn't be doing that, and the Supreme Court saw that very well. And I really do believe that will be a unifying factor, because while most states were thrilled to have me, there were some that didn't, and they didn't want that for political reasons. They didn't want that because of poll numbers, because the poll numbers are very good. We're beating President Biden in almost every poll. New York Times came out yesterday with a very big poll for us. So they didn't like that, and you can't do that. You can't do what they tried to do. And hopefully Colorado, as an example, will unify. I know there's tremendous support. They brought our support up very strong in Colorado, because people in Colorado thought that was a terrible thing that they did. And while we're on the subject, and another thing that will be coming up very soon will be immunity for a president, and not immunity for me, but for any president. If a president doesn't have full immunity, you really don't have a president, because nobody that is serving in that office will have the courage to make, in many cases, what would be the right decision, or it could be the wrong decision. It could be, in some cases, the wrong decision, but they have to make decisions, and they have to make them free of all terror that can be rained upon them when they leave office, or even before they leave office. And some decisions are very tough. I can tell you that as a president, that some decisions to make are very tough. I took out ISIS, and I took out some very big people from the standpoint of a different part of the world. Two of the leading terrorists, probably the two leading terrorists ever that we've ever seen in this world. And those are big decisions. I don't want to be prosecuted for it. Another president wouldn't want to be prosecuted for it. It had a tremendously positive impact. It stopped everything cold. And sometimes you have to make, they were tough decisions. Sometimes you have to make decisions like that. When you make a decision, you don't want to have your opposing party or opponent or even somebody that just thinks you're wrong bring a criminal suit against you or any kind of a suit when you leave office. I have that right now at a level that nobody's ever seen before. I have rogue prosecutors and I have rogue judges. I have judges that are out of control. And it's a very unfair thing for me, but serving perhaps as a sample to others of what should not be happening when you make good decisions. And in my case, the economy was great. We didn't go into any wars. We totally defeated ISIS. We provided the largest tax cuts in history. We provided the largest regulation cuts in history. But think of it, no wars. We beat ISIS 100% of the caliphate. And there were no wars. We did a job that was great, but maybe I wouldn't have done that. The caliphate, defeating them, was very powerful. It was going to take 4 years. It took me 4 months, but it was a very strong dictum that I gave. I said, get them, defeat them, end it. We were fighting for 20 years against ISIS, and we did it very quickly. I don't want to be prosecuted. In that case, it worked out very well. There will be some things that perhaps don't work out so well, but I don't want to be prosecuted because I decided to do something that is very much for the good of the country and actually for the good of the world. A president shouldn't have that on his mind, and he has to have a free and clear mind when he makes very big decisions, or it's going to be nothing more than a ceremonial post. You'll be president.
Yeah, I agree to an extent of what he's saying, and that I think that the leader of the free world often at times has to make some of the most difficult decisions. What we see happening right now, I can't remember in any of my history lessons or anything that I've ever studied this being a thing for any president that came before him, and that they're trying to leverage the fact that the people actually support him against him. And instead of letting the people determine whether or not he should become president again, they're trumping up a whole bunch of charges, and they're saying that he doesn't deserve to be president anymore, or at the very least even doesn't deserve to be on the ballot. And that's insane. It's very much insane. Even in the midst of the whole ethics probe to determine whether or not they should even be the ones to prosecute the case in the first place. As far as Georgia, I believe that is absolutely insane. So I agree with that.
That'll be a wonderful thing, and you won't do anything because you don't want to be hit by your opponent or hit by somebody else, because who wants...
Because then the person that defeated you can then leverage power of the government against you.
To leave office and go through what I've gone through. I'm being prosecuted by Biden, my opponent, because every one of these things, whether it's Fannie Willis or Bragg, these are local and state, but they're in total coordination with the White House. You can't do that. It shouldn't be done.
And that's where, for me personally, and look, one of the things I like about him is that he just says what he's really thinking. He just says it clearly, plainly. He said, listen, Fannie Willis and what's happening over there in Georgia is in total 100% cahoots with what's happening over in the White House. He said, listen, the judges, district attorney, we all know that the judge that's even determining whether or not Fannie Willis and Nathan Wade should be a part of this case in the first place, donated to her campaign. Where they do that at?
I mean, a thing like that, in the case of the DA's office, they put one of the top people, maybe the second person, in the Manhattan DA's office to get Trump. They had a Hillary Clinton lawyer leave the law firm, very prestigious big law firm, leave the law firm to go into the DA's office to get Trump, Pomerantz, Mr. Pomerantz. So he goes in to become a prosecutor, worked for the Democrat Party and Hillary Clinton, goes in to prosecute Donald Trump at a local level, in total coordination with the Department of Justice, meaning Biden. And then you have the Fannie Willis, or as
That's
she would
crazy.
say, Fonnie. F-A-N-I, but Fani. And she hired somebody, knew the person long before this horrible prosecution
calling it what it is.
took place. And she went out and she paid him an unbelievable amount of money, more money than he ever had dreamt possible, much more money than other people that do that for a living. He never did it at all, had no experience in it at all. And they had obviously a conflict. We don't have to go into that, but they were able to get a lot of money because it was a high-profile person. Me, I'm a very high-profile person.
And he calling it like it is. And he's just calling it like it is. He said, listen, they made a lot of money prosecuting a high-profile person. They were unethical. She was busting it down like for a real one, and I ain't even going to say it, but we all know it. Look at Sensei Zoe. What is he saying that you actually disagree with? What is he saying that you actually disagree with? He's saying the truth. They was busting it down. She lied. The text messages show she lied. The cell phone tower show she lied. He made a bunch of money on something that he's never even had experience doing. He's made more money than anybody that came before him. They benefited from it. It's actually in cahoots with different people that's on different legislative levels as far as the branches that they serve. We not going to say no names. And they lied. Everything that he's saying is absolutely true. He's even omitting a lot of the things, a lot of the details that's really happening. He's telling the truth. He's just being real. They all was in cahoots. They all working together. And this should absolutely be something that we objectively say, yeah, you can't really do that. That doesn't make sense. She lied.
So they were able to pay him close to $1 million when he was not equipped to do the job, and she's not equipped to do the job, and that case should end immediately. That case is so conflicted, nobody's ever seen anything like it. And then you have deranged Jack Smith, who's a Trump hater and represents all the Trump haters, and he's going wild. He's just a wild man. He's been overturned unanimously by the Supreme Court. Went after other people over the years. He's had great failure. But he's mean, he's nasty, he's unfair. And the judges on these cases, they're all Trump haters. Other than we have maybe one or two that I think can be fair. But you look at New York, what's happened. I mean, these people have tremendous hatred. You can't do this to a president. And again, I'm not talking about me, I'm talking about in the future. A president has to be free. A president has to be, if the president does a good job.
Shout out to fighter jets.
Some people would say a great job. But if the president does a good job, a president should be free and clear and frankly celebrated for having done a good job.
Let me say this, and then we can move over into the next thing, because I want to make sure that we get over into these migrants, diversity, equity, and inclusion being priced out, people having to go into tiny homes. I want to get to the money. Let me just say this. What I'm wondering, especially from a lot of these people that don't like him, cool, you don't like him as a person, awesome. God bless you. You have the right to your opinion. From 2016 through 2020, basically, the end of 2019, how were things for you? When you look at the previous years that happened before that, when you look at 2012 to 2016 versus 2016 through 2020, and all of the progress that we made, how was the difference for you personally? That's all I'm asking. And then when you look at 2016 through 2020 versus 2020 through 2024, how's things working out for you? I'm just asking questions. How's things working out for you? When you look at the different timelines and you say what the economy was doing, what inflation was doing, what happened as far as how you was getting money, did you have any unemployment? Did you have a lot of uncertainty? Was you trying to figure it out? Was everybody getting to the bag? Everybody was running it up. Economy was booming. Wars was ending. NAFTA was being renegotiated. Tariffs was being enacted against China. When we start having this conversation and you just remove your emotion from it and you start looking at it objectively instead of how many women he bust down or he grabbed in the crotch, I just want y'all to know, or I just want to ask the question, what was your life like in these 4-year spans? Over the last 4 years, how was things been for you? Over 2020 through 2024, how have things been for you? That's all I'm asking. Trap and Slay says she paid $13 the other night. When you think about it, we had no new wars. Other countries seemed like they were scared of us. Gas prices was low as piss. Nobody was complaining about food prices. Everybody was getting money. Everybody was running up a check. We didn't need no stimuluses or none of that, right? And then 2020 through 2024, we got more arguments amongst each other. You know why people argue? Because they be broke. Because it be struggle season. People, listen, money fixeth a lot of things. Money solveth a lot, and I'm using it ETH. Money solveth a lot of problems. Money solveth a lot. When the money is good, people don't have no arguments. They ain't going back and forth. They're not going to sit here. You can overlook a lot of things when you starting to get to the, you know what? He cussed me out a little bit, but he bought me a car. You know what I'm saying? The ladies wasn't even tripping on us back at the, listen, 2016 through 2020, they didn't trip. Y'all do realize that, right? He got in a little later than he said that he was going to come in. But the check was still there. You know what I'm saying? But nobody tripping. You notice how that notice how that work? You notice how that work? You know what? He was a little grumpy today, but he made sure that my car was filled with gas. The ladies couldn't wait to give up the box. Now it seemed like that they putting the box on the chastity belt. I said, where all of the box go for all of the fellas? Where did all of the box go for the fellas? You know what I'm saying? Refrigerators was full. People was doing meal prep. Everybody was traveling. We seen more women traveling to different countries, BBLs, everybody seemed like they was figuring out how to get along. Things wasn't perfect, but they was trying to figure out how to get along. They didn't trip. Everybody was getting money. Everybody was making money. Then the gas prices went up. Inflation was on 10. Y'all had to stay home together. Y'all tried to figure it out. They was locking down the cities. Y'all went on rent moratorium. Everybody all of a sudden started complaining about their student loan payments. Couldn't nobody get no new jobs? Everybody started having to work 2 jobs. You start seeing women complaining, I could do good by my goddamn self. Like, what? You wasn't saying that in 2017, 18, and 19. All of a sudden, you need a high-value man. Remember? Y'all was arguing with me. You said, Anton, you can get by on $40,000, $50,000. Remember? We could do that. Now, all of a sudden, $100,000 ain't enough no more. Last night we was on a live stream and they said 100,000. I said, just a second ago y'all said a high value man was $100,000. Everybody was doing good in 2017, 18, and 19. We was throwing money in the club. Everybody was popping. You know what I'm saying? Everybody had a good time. People was trying to figure it out. Wasn't nobody complaining. Murders was down. Crime was down. Chicago always been Chicago, but we ain't gonna go there. Life was relatively good. It was trending upwards. We had suffered in 2008, 9, 10, 11, 12. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, we was suffering. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. We thought it was going to get better. We was like, man, this is kind of looking a little bit more like 2010 than it did 2008, 2007, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Everybody had free money. People was going to get BBL. People was like, come on, man. Come on. I don't care who he busting down. What I do care about is policies, politics, and whether or not inflation is out of control. And so, you know, guys was getting hair units. Remember that? Y'all start. Hey, you can't even go to the barbershop unless you're spending $200 now. You can't go to the barbershop unless you're spending $200 now. Now, every liberal city, look, they got y'all to defund the police. California is in a crisis. They in a deficit. Chicago is in a deficit. Migrant crisis is out of control. Borders then opened up. You got more people. Atlanta had migrants in the airport. Boston got them sleeping at night. Listen, you know everything is in the opposite direction when Detroit decided that they wanted to step up and they actually on the come up and everybody else is on the downturn. I'm just being honest with you. You see how that flip-flop? We doing good over here. Listen, I'm cool. We good. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We good. Every other city is on the downturn. LA, Philadelphia. When you go out to Philadelphia, go down Kensington Street, everybody like this. I ain't never seen I ain't never seen a group of people sleep standing up in the middle of the street, tilted over to the side. Everybody in Philadelphia now is like, I said, what is that? What they on? That's a new type of heroin. They said, Anton, that ain't heroin. That's that Fenty. I said, Rihanna got some new drawers out there. They got niggas sleeping up, standing up. I said, no, that's that Fenty, that fentanyl. They got that fentanyl out there in Philly. I said, white people taking it too? I said, wait a minute. You telling me white people is on the street sleeping upside down too? I'm just saying, Kensington wasn't Kensington when Trump was in. Kensington wasn't Kensington when Trump was in. Tell me that ain't looking like that. Tell me they ain't looking like that. Okay, listen, I was just asking a question. I ain't tripping. Okay, now you ain't got no middle class no more. Y'all don't know what is a high value man is no more. Now y'all trying to figure it out. Cool. There's a live stream on that street in Philadelphia. Listen, I don't even name names no more. I got faces for the different places that I'm referencing. Whenever you see me do like that, I'm talking about Philly. Whenever you see me do that, that's Philly. Shout out to Philly. I'm not going to say no names no more. I'm going to just let y'all name them based off of how it is that I see the people is on the street. Where you from? I'm from Philly. Why Anton doing that? Oh, you don't recognize where I'm from? Man, look, bro, don't be trying to steal my jokes, bro. That's one thing I'm not standing for it. I'm not standing for it. I don't want no comedians. If I see one of these kings of comedies go up on stage and start telling my jokes, we gonna have some furniture moving up in this mother effer. Now, one of y'all better be on Shannon Sharp talking about, I got a new joke. No. Stop stealing my jokes. We improv over here on the Millionaire Morning Show, and it's coming to a theater near you. It's coming to a comedy store near you. It's coming to a comedy store near you. We get there. Read some of these super chats and get over to the next part of the show. What up, Sid? I see you, Sid. Sid got something to say. Keeps talking about black women's criminalize my 19-year-old black daughter. She needs to tell the truth. The real reason she has security, had an accountability justice for Alexis Wilson. Wait. Let me read this again, Kara. Kara says, keeps talking about black women's criminalize my 19-year-old black daughter. She needs to tell the truth. Oh, the real reason she has security, hiding from accountability. So you saying Tiffany Henyard criminalized your 19-year-old daughter? Make sure you send me an email, AntonDaniels413@gmail.com. I got you, boo. Anthony Boom is in the building. Boom. Shout out to Anthony Boom in the building. Anthony Boom says, what up, Anton? I'm a D.C. resident. Marion Barry did more for the community and did a better job than any past or current president in Washington, D.C. Don't throw him under the bus for having an addiction problem. I ain't throw him under the bus. I just asked if that was him. Is he the one that was getting some box in the hotel room while sniffing, doing a line? Marion Barry was just born in the wrong era. That's all. We ain't tripping off of Marion Barry. He was trying to get him some box and sniff some of that. If you want to ride, don't ride the wild horse. If you want to ride, ride the wild horse. Wild horse. White horse. If you want to ride, then ride the white horse. Hold on. If you want to ride the white horse. We'll get there. White horse. Shout out to Marion Barry. Yeah. He said we coming back. That's my song right there. Y'all want to see me cut a rug? This is not ADHD. This is not ADHD. I'm just saying. White horse. Chris Monroe says, if this is the case, they should have prosecuted Bush. They should have prosecuted Bush for the Iraq war. Trump is correct on this issue. Blacks, stop being afraid of supporting Trump. Yeah. White horse. I'm about to change the name of this show to White Horse. Prince Elian says, I said it once and I'll say it again. If Trump is held accountable over nonsense and goes to jail, every former current politician also has to go. See, they got y'all scared of being politicians now. Shout out to J Ben. J Ben says, Donald Trump Jr., one of them ones. Donald J. Trump. Everyone switched up on him once he became prez. Pepperidge Farms remembers y'all had his poster on y'all wall. Yeah, in the 90s. Hashtag hustler. Hustler. Real talk. Y'all be talking. Miss Jennifer, really? Me? Your favorite? Oh my God. The best show on earth. Blaze Skywalker says, as much as I want the case to be dismissed from Fannie, I don't believe it's going to happen. I'll cash app you 1,000. Keep it if dismissed. Give me back 2 racks. If not, what up though? Why is there such a disparity? How come I got to give you back 2 racks? How does that work? What kind of deal is that? JC Cut says, same people judging Trump are the same ones definitely ending Puffy. Defending ending Puffy. Death ending Puffy. Shout out to JC Cuts. Prince Elian says, folks who keep saying presidents shouldn't have full immunity may not know or fully understand how our Constitution and government works. Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point. Time out. Shout out to Time Out. I appreciate you for holding me down. Ash. Ash. Get your ash to the front of the congregation. So, Eric, talk about it. Says, AD, I would have stayed in the military if Trump was reelected. Biden's CV-19 mandate forced me to retire from active duty earlier than expected. Wow. But it all worked out to God's glory. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Thank you, Ash, for supporting the platform again. I can't imagine why y'all love me, but some reason, somehow, some way, y'all decided that y'all wanted to love on Time Dog today. Thank you, Ash. Victor Williams says, these ain't haircuts anymore, Anton. These dudes pushing people back, then painting their headlines on, and then charging $100 for that BS. And these barbers, catty and sassy. Now, not the sassy barbers. Y'all got sassy barbers, and they pushing y'all hairline back. Time Out said, what do you think about the black community poking fun at Shay Zesty stance and walk to total? I seen it. I think it's jokes. He was walking. You gotta understand, y'all. He had 2 hip replacements. What's up, Q? God, y'all gotta cut Shannon a break. Prince Elian says, I find it interesting how folks want to hold Trump accountable for nonsense, but are not demanding Obama be held accountable for killing U.S. citizens. Now, you know Obama is untouchable. You know old Obama was untouchable. Anthony Boom says, sadly, it was crack cocaine. The 90s was rough. But if you want to ride, then ride White Horse. I need to make that my theme music. The clothes is too tight. It's just fitted. Y'all better leave Shannon alone. He had 2 hip replacements. He walked like that because he got hip replacements. We got to get to the rest of the show. Listen, did y'all know that they have legislation that they're introducing that would allow for illegal immigrants, migrants, to purchase homes? Oh, man. Ben Carson had an opportunity. Y'all know anything about Ben Carson? Y'all didn't read Ben Carson's book? Ben Carson has something to say about it.
I want to bring in Dr. Ben Carson. He's the former Housing and Urban Development Secretary under President Trump. Doctor, welcome back. Always good to see you. What's your reaction to the Supreme Court ruling?
Well, I'm proud of the Supreme Court that they were able to put politics behind them and do what's right. There comes a time when you have to recognize that the Constitution is the thing that holds this nation together.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that they were able to recognize that. And I hope it's a continuing trend.
Doctor, you know what's coming now, don't you? So you do know what's coming. You're being floated as a possible pick for vice president for Mr. Trump. If Trump asks you, would you accept the vice president's position?
Well, let me put it this way. I am extremely committed to saving our country. And President Trump is extremely committed to that. Winning the election is only step one. They have a lot of work to do to undo some of the damage that's been caused by the administrative state and the loss of allegiance and patriotism to our nation.
Yo, Ben Carson is quite possibly one of the most stellar, smartest people that is in the community. And guess what? He's shunned. Largely shunned by the black community. Ain't that crazy?
Sounds like a big yes you would accept if asked. Can I interpret it like that?
You can interpret it however you'd like.
I knew that was coming too. You're too smart for me. All right. Trump is seeing a major shift among black voters and voters under 30, 2 key demographic groups. Why would a second Trump administration be good for young folks and black voters?
According to a Fox News poll, among black voters, how would you vote if the candidates were Joe Biden or Trump, which we all know that these are going to be the 2 candidates. Check this out. Among black voters back in February 2020, black people overwhelmingly went for Biden for 89%. Listen, that would mean that of the majority of the people that's in here that y'all don't want to admit, y'all was at the polls, checking right on down on the blue side. You picked Kamala Harris, and you also picked Biden. Now, it's swinging a little bit, but we can't expect for any of y'all to actually be honest about the fact that you still support Biden. And now it's 66% to 28%. Why do you think that black people decided that they wanted to divest themselves from the Democratic Party, which I believe that is mostly men? Mostly men are the ones that saying, you know what? I seen my boy Peasy. Shout out to Peasy. He was on the gram the other day and he was going back and forth with the black community. And he was saying that he was supporting Trump. And the people was mad at him. Mad at him. It is some prominent people that is still on the Biden train.
Well, I think the first Trump administration gave a lot of people, particularly in the minority community, an opportunity to see that the best policy is one in which a rising tide lifts all boats, not one where you pick various demographics and try to give them an advantage or try to even things out. And that worked out extremely well in the black community. There were more jobs, higher wages, the highest ever home ownership numbers. A lot of things were going well, and I think people are able to compare what was happening then with what's happening now.
You hear all of those stats? Y'all was buying homes, wages was up, debt was down, education. Now look at you, dusty. And the price of the brick has went down.
And see a big difference.
I just want to get back to this. Am I right in saying that Trump was the only president for a very long time who has actually narrowed the income inequality gap? I believe he did that. Can you confirm it?
Yes, absolutely. Recognize that income is derived largely from home ownership. You had the highest home ownership numbers under Trump. And the average renter has a net worth of about $5,000, the average homeowner about $200,000. That's a 40-fold increase. And a lot of the policies, particularly the progressives over the decade, have went toward getting people into housing, but as renters and not as owners. And I think that's a big difference and has accounted for a lot of the wealth gap.
What do you make of this new bill in California that would make illegal migrants eligible for first-time homebuyer loans?
A new California bill. I want y'all to understand this. Let's see if I can find it specifically. There's a new bill in California. Let me see what it's called. It is called introduced Assembly Bill 1840 earlier this year, which would create an alternative way for illegal immigrants to achieve home ownership. The bill is set to expand eligibility criteria for a state loan program to expand these loans to undocumented immigrants who are first-time buyers. An applicant under the program shall not be disqualified solely based on the applicant's immigration status. It's that I see it. It's for undocumented individuals, despite the fact that they've qualified under existing criteria, such as having a need for home ownership. The bill focuses on all shared appreciation loans program, which launched in spring 2023, giving first-time home buyers a loan that covers up to 20% of the property's purchase that will not accumulate interest or have required monthly payments. Loanees are expected to pay back the original loan amount in addition to the 20% of the increase in the home's value when the property's mortgage is refinanced or resold. Only when it's refinanced and resold. First introduced January 16th, Bill 1840 was originally intended to provide shared appreciation loans to low and middle income citizens. It was originally for low and middle income citizens. Under the new proposal, the legislation would expand to allow the program to include illegal immigrants into the eligibility pool. It was established to assist low and middle income individuals to purchase homes, but the program hasn't been clear about the eligibility for undocumented individuals, and AB 1840 addresses that issue. Legislators say this in California. Let me be clear. Anybody who meets the program's criteria can apply for this loan program. And to qualify, you must secure the bank loan or the mortgage. It's about providing an opportunity for home ownership, which we know allows family to secure financial security and stability. The ability to do this strengthens local economies, and that benefits all people who call California home. This is crazy. This is a real thing. The LA Times reported the California loan program garnered 2,300 applicants in less than 2 weeks before the applications were halted last year. And the program will now replace the first come, first served basis that was originally intended for low income or middle class income families with a lottery program. Concerns continue to rise across the country as the migrant crisis continues to grow and overpower different states' available resources. And then it goes into the border bill, National Border Patrol Council, so on and so forth. So this is a new bill that's being introduced in California that you can look up based off of what it is that I just reported to you, that basically expands eligibility for home ownership into illegal immigrants. Ben Carson wants to comment on this, ladies and gentlemen.
Should migrants be entitled to those loans, Doctor?
So many of our young people, young couples, are just giving up on the American dream because it's so hard for them to own a home. And now you got California trying to get homes for illegal immigrants. Are you kidding me? It's absurd. And, anytime when we're thinking about rights for criminals and people who are doing things illegally over the rights of our own people, we have a major problem. And I hope the American people recognize that.
Dr. Ben Carson, thanks as always.
So, I just wanted to make sure that I educated you guys and kept you informed on what was going on out in these streets. And so now you can't say, well, they slipped this under our nose and we didn't know about it. No, you need to know about it. You need to know what's going on out here in these streets. You need to know what's going on in your own backyard. Prince Elian says, no, none of this matters because black folks are still going to vote Democrat for their own replacement. Well, we know that. We already know that. So, but at least you can't say that you didn't know what you was voting for or what you decided that you didn't want to participate in the voting process for. Shout out to Gavin Newsom over there running California amok. Pookie's friend Ray Ray says, I heard migrants are ganking luggage at the ATL airport and selling it in the back alleys like Tyrese and Baby Boy. Oh, man. And who gonna stop them? Sister, shout out to Sister. Mr. AD. Remember, it was 89% in 2020 for Biden because he said you were not black if you did not vote for him. I guess blacks was trying to prove their blackness. Yikes. They still gonna vote for him today. You want me to run for president? I don't know. Maybe when I retire and I'm all old and senile like Biden, I can get some little of that taxpayer money, get that health care coverage that y'all giving out for free to the presidents of the United States of America. Let's continue. We got a couple of different things that we want to cover before we get up out of here. Couple of different things. Did y'all know that universities was getting rid of the diversity, equity, and inclusion program and people were pissed about it? Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Starting with the University of Florida. People are pissed. Check it out.
University of Florida becoming the latest school to eliminate all diversity, equity, and inclusion program positions due to new state rules. ABC's Jay O'Brien joins us with the details on that. Good morning, Jay.
Janae, good morning. Florida now at the center of the latest firestorm over diversity policies in schools, this time at the state's flagship university. This morning, the fallout after the University of Florida eliminated all diversity, equity, and inclusion positions, getting rid of more than a dozen full-time jobs, including the campus's chief diversity officer, ending 15 administrative roles.
Can we get a round of applause for the University of Florida? These, in my opinion, ladies and gentlemen, are jobs where people don't do nothing to add value into the positions or the companies that they work for, including the University of Florida. 15 administrative roles. You know, I was wondering yesterday, because when they was talking about the aid for Eric Adams that basically got raided for being out here frauding and giving contracts and all of this other stuff, this pay for play that they got going on over there in New York, allegedly. And I was like, well, what position does she hold? And she was like, the chief communications officers for Chinese people or some crap like that. I said, what? What's she do? What's she do it for? For Asian, the Asian community advocate, chief financial, $100,000 plus a year position on the taxpayer dime. More than a dozen full-time jobs for the diversity, equity, and inclusion positions that's continuing to raise up tuition prices has now been eliminated. Congratulations. Congratulations, University of Florida.
And canceling all DEI-focused contracts with vendors. The university, now led by former Republican Senator Ben Sasse, saying it's complying with new Florida education restrictions after the state legislature passed a law last year banning public funding of diversity, equity, and inclusion, or DEI, programs. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis celebrating UF's move, posting, "DEI is toxic and has no place in our public universities."
Facts.
Republican State Representative Bernie Jacques co-sponsored the legislation.
To make sure that we have education in our higher education system here in the state of Florida instead of indoctrination.
Critics, however, warning that eliminating all DEI policies and staff roles at a leading public university will have ripple effects nationwide.
Our young people, our students, our educational institutions are the ones who become the collateral damage of everything that we're seeing right now.
How, sir? I'm just curious, how? How is that true? Listen, if you good enough for the position, you shouldn't have to be advocated for based off of stuff that you can't control. It's as simple as that. The best person for the position should be the one to get the position. It should not be based off of... Listen, that's the thing that you then complained about of why you couldn't get the position in the first place back in the day. Now you want equal, and so, okay, then that means that you should be able to get the position based off of your merits. The best person for the job should be the one to get the job, not the one that's the blackest, not the one that ain't got no penis, not the one that's the tallest or the shortest or Hispanic or Asian or black or Asian. Listen, the best person for the job should be the one to get the job. You should, because that's basically reverse discrimination. If you eliminate somebody from being able to get the job based off of the fact that not that they wasn't too qualified or they was worthy of getting a job, but because they wasn't a woman or because they wasn't black or because they wasn't Asian, that's crazy to me. How can we justify this? How can we justify the right person for the position shouldn't get the position because they not black enough? That's reverse racism. That's reverse discrimination.
This is so far more than just politics. This is what's going to start happening all across this country.
How can you be certain that this doesn't inspire fear in academics and in a way make them fearful of teaching any kind of diversity?
Well, it doesn't do that, right? If there's a student-led group that wants to engage in diversity discussions or gender or what have you, if it's student-led, they can do that. What we don't want it to happen is we don't want it to be institutionally led and taxpayer-funded.
Now, 8 other states, in addition to Florida, have passed legislation aimed at dismantling DEI programs on college campuses, and at least a dozen states are now considering similar legislation. Gio?
And
And I think that that's smart.
Appears this debate is far from over. All right, Jay, thank you so much for that.
Let me go. I heard that Roland Martin on the same subject was advocating for support for Emmitt Smith and to stand with Emmitt Smith, who's a former Cowboy champion, Dallas Cowboys champion, to stand with Emmitt Smith in supporting diversity, equity, and inclusion. I haven't seen this, but I did see it pop up, and so I thought I'd kind of share it a little bit and see what the sentiment is with this.
Pro Football Hall of Famer Emmitt Smith, the NFL's leading rusher for his career, dropped the bombshell blasting his alma mater for firing all of their DEI employees. Now, remember, the state of Florida banned DEI across all state institutions, and Emmitt Smith was not having any of it. He dropped this statement right here. Emmitt said, quote, come on, guys. Come on, guys. Come on. Thank you. I'm utterly disgusted by UF's decision and the precedent that it sets. Without the DEI department, the job falls to the office of the provost, who already has their hands full to raise money for the university and continue to advance the academic studies and athletic programs. We cannot continue to believe and trust that a team of leaders, all made up of the same background, will make the right decision when it comes to equality and diversity. History has already proven that is not the case. We need diverse thinking and backgrounds to enhance our university, and the DEI department is necessary to accomplish those goals.
They created a whole department based off of diversity, equity, and inclusion. What a fool. Hey, let me ask y'all a question, because we done been finessed like this a whole lot of times, y'all. Let me ask y'all a question. If a person was the leading rusher of all time for an NFL team, how does that then qualify them to be able to give you some insight and information on how it is that you're supposed to live your life, or how to run a university, or how to educate your students? Is it all based off of the fact it's a popularity contest, or you was a leading pass rusher? Or do we actually want to make some informed decisions on what's best for our children? Because I don't want my child going to an indoctrination camp.
And instead of showing courage and leadership, we continue to fail based on systemic issues. And with this decision, UF has conformed to the political pressures of today's time. To the many minority athletes at UF, please be aware and vocal about this decision by the university, who is now closing the doors on other minorities without any oversight. And to those who think it's not your problem and stay on the sidelines and say nothing, you are complicit in supporting systemic issues.
Well, okay, I'm not sitting on the sidelines. I'm being very vocal, and I'm saying that he's absolutely positively wrong. Absolutely, positively wrong. Look, Christ is a black man. What a heck of a name. So it says wrong. It's the old days. I think you meant to say it's not the old days. We are not living in the 1900s anymore. You're going to have to stand on your own 2 feet. Nobody cares about your diversity, equity, and inclusion program. You're going to have to stand on your own 2 feet, be a big boy or a big girl, and then get hired off of your own merits. No more leg ups. No more none of that. We are one big melting pot here in the United States of America. And even white people got to live van life right now. And I don't care what Emmitt Smith says or Roland Martin.
Now, a lot of people about there, obviously, especially your MAGA right-wing folks, have been critical of Emmitt Smith, but he's getting a lot of support, and he's right on the money. And the reason why this is important, folks, is because when you have athletes, former athletes, legends, icons dare to stand up and to challenge conventional thinking, then you're going to see, I believe, a fundamental difference. Now, some of y'all may disagree with me and say, well, I don't really know if that's the case. Do y'all remember when a brother out of Mississippi State dared to say, I'm not playing under that Confederate flag? And then what happened? They quickly moved. Remember this story right here? This brother, give me 1 second. Let me pull it up here, unlock it. There we go. All right. Remember this story right here? Mississippi State running back. I won't represent this state until flag is changed. And when
Okay, then don't represent the
Kylan
state.
Hill made that particular comment, he, of course, was one of the top rushers in the NFL, in college football. Folks, it did not take long for them to change the state flag. Literally, the white racists in Mississippi, Republicans, have been fighting for a long time to keep that Confederate emblem on that state flag. When that brother and other athletes started saying, we ain't having it, and when those white head coaches started telling those lawmakers, the black players not coming to our state, they immediately changed that flag. Y'all might remember University of Missouri, when they also announced they were going to boycott over issues. That led to top university officials resigning and massive changes at the university. This is what
I'm amazed that we still are trying to bully people to do what we want them to do. And we even trying to force people to lose their jobs because they don't agree with you. It's okay to not agree with somebody. It's okay to have a difference of opinion. It's even okay. Look, as much as I love and I support many conservatives, I don't think that all of them are good. But I also say that I think that you guys should do your own research, and I'm not mad at you if you decide that you wanted to vote completely differently than me and you wanted to support somebody from a party on the other side. I respect that. The only thing that I ask you to do is become an informed voter, and then you look at those issues, you look at the policies, you look at what it is that you're facing, especially on a local level, and you make a decision for what's in your best interest or your community's best interest. See, contrary to popular belief, a lot of conservative people stand behind the idea of a democracy. We stand behind the idea that you should be able to do what you want to do based off of the fact that we all free to think and say what we want to say when we want to say it. The only thing we ask you to do is become educated when you go and vote, because we don't want you to vote based off of being miseducated. I support people being able to sleep with who they want to sleep with. I just don't agree. The thing that I don't want you to do is censor me because I don't agree. And so if I don't want to be censored, what I also do is I say, I'm going to advocate for you not to be censored either, even if you disagree with me, because that's what freedom of speech really is. And it's the same thing when it comes to these diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. You should not be able to have a bigger voice than everybody else just because you're a woman, or just because you're black, or just because you don't like the way that things go there. It's silly, it's ignorant, it's dumb, it's racist, it's reverse racist, it's all of the things that's the worst for us. Prince Elian is in the building, says black folks begging for diversity, equity, and inclusion don't even realize that it's illegal and it goes against their treasured Civil Rights Act. DEI is built on institutional racism. I agree. 100%. Sister says, Mr. AD, I think that DEI lowers the bar. It does. It does. And not only does it lower the bar, it eliminates great candidates and then people that's actually best for the position, because we want identity politics. All right. Ash says DEI or die policies are discriminatory. My skin color or blackness is not my identity. Excelling or maximizing your reading, writing, arithmetic, or physical performance and talents is your identity. 100%. Thank you, Ash. And you've been holding us down. Let me give you a round of applause, please. Last but not least, I just want to share this with you guys really quickly, because they're saying that people are basically priced out of the housing and the rental market, even so much so to where people are now starting to embrace tiny homes, and that has been normalized. That has been normalized. All right? Make sure that you subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications, and also I appreciate you guys for continuing to hold me down. Let me share this with you really quickly, and then we're going to get up out of here. Actually, let's do it like this. Real quick.
New tonight, with sky-high home prices and interest rates to match, many first-time home buyers are being priced out of the market.
So tonight, KENS 5's Jeremy Baker takes us to a subdivision on the Far East Side. Apparently, it is bucking the trend to make the American dream come to life.
You think of tiny homes, you might think of this 30-foot tiny downstairs sleeper for $52,900. Or this Canada Goose tiny RV for $119,000. Or this cute little thing called Tiny Price Big Love for $27,000.
Let me tell y'all what those are. Those are trailers. Those are trailers. Nothing more. They trailers. And you know what they used to be calling people that lived in those places? In the trailer home and the trailer park, and they just so happen to be white? Y'all know what they used to call them. Y'all know what they used to call them. When you put it on a hitch and you can drive off with it, but instead you decided to sit it on the ground and put some flowers around it, they used to call those trailer parks. Now, we've rebranded. You know how they don't call them homeless anymore? They call them unhoused. Or they don't say, oh man, he killed somebody. They say, oh no, he's been unalived. Now we've changed it because we wanted to be a little bit more inclusive. Remember, we still got diversity, equity, and inclusion going on with our language. It's not trailers anymore. You got it, Lorenzo. It's not trailers anymore. Now it's called tiny homes. It's still your home. It's just smaller. And there's different versions of it. But people are clamoring for it. Clamoring for it.
Wait a minute. 96 square feet? Let's find something bigger.
You asked for it, and here it is. The most affordable home in San Antonio, Texas. Let's check it out.
It's called the Elm Trails subdivision on San Antonio's Far East Side, just off Walsham Road. Just how big are these homes with a one-car driveway, narrow front, and a full backyard?
This is going to be a 2-story home. It's going to be over 600 square feet.
Okay, a little larger than the max of 400 square feet that typically classifies a tiny home.
Look at those places. Hold on. I'm not hating. I understand that people got to do what they got to do. These cookie cutter subdivisions and neighborhoods that all of the places look the same. They all the same color. They all got the same builder. They're all throwing them up in record amount of time at the same time. They all got the same inspectors. I just can't do it. I personally just can't do it. I just can't do it. I'm not built for it. I would rather just stay with my people. We can all stay together, me, my brother, my mom, whatever. We just all gonna stay together and we just gonna party together. I'm not that desperate to feel like I need to be out on my own. And again, I respect everybody else's decisions. I think that we are all in a different space in our life, but I'm just not that desperate. I just can't do it. You live right around the block from there, AJ Wise? I'm gonna have to go and check it out.
Larger than the max of 400 square feet that typically classifies a tiny home.
It's enough room for me, and he doesn't complain.
Nafi Johnson moved into the subdivision with her son after looking into downsizing.
Especially for the times that we're living in, and everything's so skyrocket high.
The home includes a full kitchen, fenced-in backyard, and a sweet second-story loft. But to Johnson, it's all about the privacy.
He gonna have to stop with this green screen, big dog. Stop with the green screen.
It's better than, to me, apartment complex, because it's your own, and you can have your own space.
Credit News Research studied purchasing power adjusted wages and starter home prices and found in the U.S. it takes close to 4 years of income to afford a globally benchmark starter home. That's a 636 square foot 2-bedroom home with a price of $287,000.
Is that how big regular homes are? 686 square feet? Huh. And $300,000 for that? Man, let me tell you something, bro. I'm about to be a force in the community. Now that I done built the first one and we starting to break ground on another ones and we buying up all the land that's around us, let me tell you something, bro. I'm building regular people homes and I'm going to give it to them for regular people prices. Yep, you can be paid, you can be taken care of, you can be benefited, you can do all of that, and you don't have to gouge the people. And I just think that this is finesse. I'm building regular people homes, and I'm gonna put them in there. And when I say regular people, they 3-4 bedrooms, 3.5 bathrooms, a full finished basement, and I'm putting people in them joints. And they're going to be affordable. You still got to qualify. You still can't have no evictions. You still got to be able to pay rent. You still got to be able to take care of business. But I'm putting people in a real house, man. Like how we used to do back in the day. Yeah, man, we not messing around. You're going to have an office, open kitchen, all of that. And we putting our own money up, and we ain't putting them in the hood. They're going to be in the nice places with good schools. I think that you can change a community, but you just need people that got money to start putting their money up and doing the right thing. Because it's got to be a balance between capitalism and taking advantage of people. You know what I'm saying? So I just think that I don't have to do people dirty. And here's the thing: when you do people well, they never want to leave. They'll stay there for a long time. I have never raised the rent on one tenant. I have never raised the rent on any tenant that I've ever had, no matter how long that they stay there. Because our stuff ain't financed. We not worried about the bank. We ain't worried about no loans, adjustable arms, none of that stuff. We pay our stuff. We build it from scratch. And then we put people in them and we create great communities. And so I just think that we got to start rethinking it differently. But it's got to start with the entrepreneurs. It's got to start with the legislators too. You know what I'm saying? We're going to put people in real homes, stuff that they can stay in for a long time and actually be able to immerse themselves in the school system so they don't have to just adjust and jump from school district to school district because they can't afford to stay there. And so now the kids got to have different friends everywhere that they go, like they a military kid, and they going to different places. I just believe that you can do it differently. I do. And that does not mean that you're not supposed to take care of business and pay your responsibilities or whatever, but I'm going to put people in real homes, man. It's too much space. It's too much land. It's too much opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Look at this. Look at this nonsense.
It would take more than 5.5 years of income to afford a median-priced home at $431,000. And out of the 25 countries included in the study, the U.S. had the third most affordable homes, only behind Turkey and Belgium.
As soon as you walk upstairs and you're able to see the huge loft area, it completely changes the way that you feel about the entire home.
Delilah Sue decided to rent one of the homes for herself and her 2 boys. This is Jace.
I like the backyard and everything. I like the front yard also.
I think it's something you would definitely want to buy as a starter home and then maybe look into flipping it later on.
And as you can see, they're not done. They're building dozens more. We peeked into one home still under construction, and the inside is a blank slate. You can make it your own, just like this owner did with the dark subway tile backsplash and painted accent walls, or this one with this sweet vine-covered porch.
You know how cheap it is to put a vine-covered porch in? You know how much more they're going to charge for you to do that? How cheap it is to put in a vine-covered porch or put in an accent wall or a different backsplash? Come on, man. Come on, bro.
But it's affordable. For more about these small homes and other tiny homes for sale, we have the links with this story on Ken.
And people are clamoring for this crap. They literally clamoring for it. So messed up, bro. It's messed up. I think that business owners and entrepreneurs and people that have resources, I don't think that, creating homeless shelters and stuff. See, this is what I stand on. Let me tell you what I stand on, and then I'm going to get y'all out of here. I don't think the solution, because everybody goes to the extreme. They always say, well, everything is all priced out, and so the greedy people overprice everything because they're trying to make as much money as they can so that they can, buy a private plane. I don't need a private plane. I could just NetJet, or I could, you know what I'm saying? I don't have to own it. I could just buy it for, buy the flights that I need when I need to fly it. Or I could fly commercial and just fly first class. But then on the flip side of it, when they then put money into a community, people say, oh my God, why they got those expensive places? They should have built a homeless shelter. Homeless shelters don't help anybody because, it doesn't create a pathway. Or they could have created more housing for the homeless. It doesn't create a pathway for people to stand on their own 2 feet. So then you have to put more social services into place, which then creates higher taxes for the people in order for them to be able to support more Section 8 housing. That's not the solution. The solution is this. You have to have partnerships between legislators and business owners, which is why it's important to be great networkers, have great relationships, and then understand why both can benefit, right? You can benefit by doing your job effectively, getting the votes that you want because you're working on the behalf of the people. And what happens is you create the space and the opportunity for the business owners that want to do business the right way to then create the housing that is affordable, that allows for people to continue to get themselves out of poverty. So it's not giving them something for free, but what you're doing is you're making it reasonable enough for you to make a profit and you not suffering, while at the same time allowing for them to continue to educate themselves, become more successful, put themselves in a position of power, become successful. It's ways and it's solutions for you to do it, but we have to think of capitalism as a vehicle. And let's be clear, capitalism is good. It is the thing that has driven more people out of poverty than ever before. But when you have extremities in everything and people can't have a balance, then that's when you start to see communities fail, people get priced out, then you got to gentrify it, so on and so forth. So I think that it has to be a balance. But in order to have that balance, we got to have great legislators. We have to have honest people that actually want to do business the right way, people that have a capitalistic mindset, but at the same time don't want to take advantage of people, and then people that don't want to price gouge, while at the same time having healthy consumers that want to do the right thing. You vet them effectively so that you create great communities, and then that's what naturally raises the property values, while at the same time allowing for people to be able to raise their children in what we would call a traditional home. But nobody wants to have that type of conversation because everybody just wants to be against each other and they want to clash. We in a versus instead of being in a community, and that's the problem. We in a versus instead of being in a community. We gonna get there. So that's just my opinion personally. It doesn't necessarily mean that I'm right, but I think that with money, with resources, you also need to develop the character also, because great character is the thing that then gives you the power to actually yield or wield that power in the proper way versus just becoming richer. Because money doesn't make you a better person. It makes you more of what you already are. But that's just my opinion personally. Let me read some of these super chats and I'm gonna get y'all up out of here for today. We got after hours today, and then we also got a stock club tonight. All right. Apex Life says, I think there's a cyber attack on Facebook and Instagram. Sheesh. Is it? Interesting. I got to check that out. Sister says, Mr. AD, are tiny homes an upgrade from van life or a downgrade? I think it's an upgrade. However, I bought a bunch of land and I was going to put some tiny homes on it. And then I changed my mind and I widened the lots and I decided to just put regular size homes on it. It's going to cost me more. I'll make less money, but I still am going to make money. And so as long as you're making money and you're not in a deficit, it's okay. I think it's an upgrade because it gives you stability. You ain't got to worry about nobody stealing your home. That's the main thing about van life. Somebody can steal your home. You know what I'm saying? They can just drive off with your home like a Kia boy. I'm not a fan of van life. I know a lot of people are selling it. I'm not a fan of van life. I don't want people to steal your home. You know what I'm saying? So I think that it's an upgrade, personally. Tiny home is an upgrade. But I think that we just need to create reasonable spaces for people to be successful. And y'all got to stop staying in these places that cost a whole lot of money just because you want to be there. That ain't the move. Go to a place that's actually affordable for you and make it a home. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Sis. Mr. Lone Star says, I'll take one Texas tornado and that'll be that'll be a cemetery. Shout out to you. I appreciate you. Van life is tax free. Yeah, but again, you ain't got to worry about somebody stealing your home. And you don't have no stable place for your kids to go to. Well, it depends, man. Listen, if you got a child, it all depends on what your circumstances are. Elias, shout out to you, says, what do you think about some middle housing? I have an aspiration to have neighborhoods set up in that way. What do you mean by middle housing? Middle class housing? I think it's fine. Just got to have money to be able to do it. Time to dine for the people. Always. Always. Shout out to Regime. Self-made forever hit me with two of them. Says, my mobile home is the best investment. Got it for $33,000. Only $18,000 left to pay off. It's 1,600 square feet. Single wide deluxe. Once it's paid off, I'll be debt-free and collecting every dollar. Yeah, minimize your expenses. I think that's awesome. You're absolutely right, my friend. And then Self-Made Forever also says, AD, my mortgage is only $488. Give me a round of applause. My mortgage is only $488. My land is free, $600, $1,100 a month for the 3-2, a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, and Jacksonville, Florida is good. I think I made the bag chaser chess move. I think that you made the right decision also, because you're not doing things in order to impress other people, but you're doing stuff to make sure that you build for your own lifestyle. Listen, I love you guys. I appreciate you. Timestamps is coming later on in the day for this live stream. Make sure you hit a like on your way out the door. And then also, I need you to do me one more favor before we get up out of here. Make sure you share this with your family and friends. We don't want to be successful by ourselves. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you, my friends, later. Peace.